Why all? Grab your popcorn, cause what's going down in the DMV rap scene right now is straight outta a Netflix crime drama. Only thing is,
tease.
this ain't fiction. This is real-life betrayal, real-life bodies dropping, and a young star's rise and fall in the most gut-wrenching, snake-infested way possible. We talking about 23 Rackz, the DMV rapper who had the streets buzzing. His name ringing in every block from Southeast to PG County, gone way too soon. But what if I told you? It wasn't a random op that got him clipped. What if I told you? The real snake was sleeping in his own den. That's right, sources are whispering, insiders are exposing, and fans are connecting the dots. 23 Rackz might have gotten backdoored by the very people he called brothers. From suspicious Instagram lives to deleted tweets to cold stares in music videos, the clues were there, ... and nobody saw it coming. Tonight, we unravel the dark side of the DMV, the jealousy, the money, the fake love, and the betrayal that ended one of the city's most promising voices. Stick around, cause this ain't just a story, it's a warning. The DMV rap scene has always been a hotbed for talent, ambition, and sometimes, unfortunately, dangerous drama. 23 Rackz was one of those names on everybody's lips, a young artist with that raw energy, street credibility, and a flow that was just different. But behind the flashy videos, loud beats, and sold-out shows, there was tension brewing that no one really saw coming. The kind of tension that's silent but deadly. Like a storm quietly gathering strength before it breaks, it all started months before the tragic night. Fans noticed subtle changes to 23 Rackz was posting less. His vibe seemed off on social media, and some of his closest collaborators suddenly stopped tagging him in their posts. Rumors swirled, but nobody wanted to believe that the DMV's rising star was caught in a web of betrayal by the people closest to him. His homies, the guys who were supposed to have his back, were acting different. Some insiders hinted at jealousy, a bitter mix of envy over 23 Rackz, growing success, and old grudges from street beefs that hadn't been settled. You see, in the DMV, loyalty isn't just a word. It's a currency. And when that currency is spent or stolen, the consequences can be deadly. One of the first red flags came from a heated argument, caught on camera during a late-night studio session. The footage leaked online, a raw clip where voices rose and insults flew fast. "Why you always acting like you, the boss?" One voice snapped, dripping with venom. "You ain't never been the king around here, Rackz. Don't forget who made you." 23 Rackz fired back, his eyes blazing with hurt and anger. "I made myself, you just scared to see me shine." The tension was thick, electric. Friends tried to break it up, but the damage was done. That night, the seeds of distrust were planted deeper than anyone could imagine. The drama didn't stop there. Weeks later, a suspicious incident at a local event left fans scratching their heads. 23 Rackz was scheduled to perform, but mysteriously, the main sound system was sabotaged, mics cutting out, speakers crackling. Backstage, tempers flared. 23 Rackz confronted one of his closest crew members, someone who had been with him since day one. "You were supposed to have my back," he said, voice low but fierce. "Why'd you let this happen?" The crew member's silence was deafening. Whispers in the crowd suggested a setup, a move by the crew to embarrass 23 Rackz in front of the city, to remind him who really held the power. The fan base was divided. Some stood firmly by 23 Rackz, flooding his socials with messages of support. But others began questioning his loyalty to the streets and those who'd been there before him. The family was left divided, with old friends taking sides. Some defending 23 Rackz, others quietly backing the opposition. Social media exploded with heated debates, conspiracy theories, and accusations. Emotions ran high, and every post, every comment seemed to add fuel to the fire. At the center of this storm was 23 Rackz himself, who started pulling away from the people he once trusted. Interviews became scarce, and when he did speak, there was a noticeable edge to his voice, a mix of frustration and betrayal. "I don't know who to trust anymore," he said in one rare clip. This ain't just music. It's survival. The pain was real, and his fans could feel it. Some whispered about paranoia, others about heartbreak. But no one doubted that something was very wrong. Then came the night that changed everything. 23 Rackz was out celebrating a milestone, a new deal, new music, the kind of success he'd worked so hard for. But what was supposed to be a night of victory turned into a nightmare. According to sources, his own crew invited him to a private spot, promising a safe space to talk things out, to bury the hatchet. But instead, they set a trap. Emotions exploded when accusations flew. "You think you're better than us," one said. "You forgot where you came from." The confrontation escalated quickly, voices turning into shouts, shouts into threats. The betrayal was palpable then. Shots rang out. Panic broke loose. The party turned into chaos. 23 Rackz tried to get away, but the betrayal cut deep. His so-called homies weren't just talking. They were aiming. The streets that once echoed his name now heard the silence that followed the gunfire. Paramedics arrived too late. The city was stunned. Fans were shocked. How could this happen? How did a brotherhood dissolve into murder? The aftermath was a whirlwind of police investigations, street rumors, and social media explosions. Some said it was a gang-related hit. Others pointed fingers at business disputes. But the truth, it was much messier. Friends who had once sworn loyalty turned into suspects. Family members were left divided, some calling for peace, others demanding justice. The funeral was a public spectacle, with tears, anger, and unanswered questions filling every corner. But the story doesn't end with the shooting. What followed was an all-out rap war, not just between artists, but between factions within the DMV itself. Diss tracks dropped like bombs, social media went into overdrive, and every verse was loaded with hidden meanings and personal attacks. Artists who once collaborated with 23 Rackz took sides, some defending his legacy, others trying to distance themselves from the drama. The streets were electric with tension, and everyone was waiting for the next move. The real heartbreak. 23 Rackz's own family caught in the middle. His younger brother, also an aspiring rapper, faced threats and pressure. "They want me to stop," he said in an emotional interview. But how do you stop when your brother was taken like this? His mother was left shattered, caught between grief and anger. Often seen pleading for peace in the community, but also demanding answers from the authorities. The fans, too, were split. Some blamed the system. Others blamed the street culture, but most just mourned the loss of a young life full of promise. As the weeks went by, more details emerged. Secret messages revealed plans, leaked audio showed threats, and a growing sense of paranoia spread across the DMV rap scene. Who could be trusted? Who was playing both sides? The lines between friend and foe blurred, and every new rumor added layers to the already complicated story. One insider even claimed that some of 23 Rackz's supposed homies were working with rival groups, feeding information that led to the ambush. It was a setup from the start, the source said. They wanted him gone because he was moving too fast, taking too much spotlight. This revelation sent shockwaves through the community, forcing many to rethink what loyalty really meant. But amidst the chaos, some voices called for healing. Local artists organized peace talks. Community leaders stepped in, and messages of unity began to surface. "We gotta remember why we started rapping in the first place," one artist said during a recent event. "It ain't about beef or betrayal. It's about telling our stories, lifting each other up." Yet, even with those efforts, the scars remain. The memory of 23 Rackz lingers like a shadow over the DMV, a reminder of what happens when trust is broken and ambition turns deadly. His music still plays on the streets, but now with a different meaning, a mix of celebration and mourning, hope and warning. And while some of the key players have gone silent, others continue to throw shade, dropping subtle hints in their lyrics, keeping the drama alive. The war isn't over, it's just changed forms. Every new release is dissected for hidden meanings, every social media post analyzed for clues. Fans and critics alike watch closely, waiting for the next chapter in a saga that feels more like a real-life thriller than music news. But remember, behind all the fame, the diss tracks, and the social media battles, there was a young man with dreams, caught in a storm much bigger than himself. 23 Rackz's story is a cautionary tale of loyalty, ambition, and the price of success in a world where trust is the rarest commodity of all. Trust is the rarest commodity of all. And as the DMV rap scene reels from the shockwaves, one thing is clear. This is more than just music drama. It's a mirror reflecting the harsh realities that many young artists face. The lines between friends and enemies blur, and sometimes, the people closest to you can be the ones who do the most damage. And just when you think you've heard it all, the story takes a turn that no one saw coming, because in this game, the truth is never simple. And the next betrayal might already be lurking in the shadows. 2, 3. Rackz's death sent shockwaves through the DMV music scene. But the real story behind it was only just beginning to unravel. Just as fans started to process the tragedy, whispers of a deeper conspiracy surfaced, painting a picture of betrayal that went far beyond a simple feud. Insiders began to reveal a tangled web of jealousy, greed, and old grudges that had been simmering beneath the surface for months, maybe even years. The same people who shared studio time with 23 Rackz, who laughed and dreamed with him, were now being accused of plotting against him. It started with leaked texts and voice notes. One message showed a heated exchange between two key members of 23 Rackz's crew, where one was heard saying, "He's moving too fast. Can't have him out here stealing all the shine." Another voice note revealed someone plotting a lesson to be taught, a warning shot to remind 23 Rackz who was really running the streets. The emotional stakes were sky high. Betrayal from brothers, from friends, from people who had once called themselves family. The DMV was watching closely, the rumors spreading like wildfire on every platform. Fans were confused and hurt. Many couldn't believe that the people closest to 23 Rackz would be capable of such treachery. Comments flooded social media, with supporters pleading for peace, but also demanding answers. "We need the truth," one fan wrote. "This can't just be about street politics. It's personal." The family was shattered, his mother, visibly heartbroken in public appearances, begged for justice. While some of 23 Rackz's siblings struggled with their own anger and grief, torn between mourning and seeking revenge. The pressure mounted when a rival rapper, known for stirring the pot, dropped a diss track that seemed aimed squarely at 23 Rackz's former crew. The track was filled with biting lyrics about betrayal, fake loyalty, and backstabbing. "You were supposed to hold him down. Instead, you let the feds around," one verse went, hinting at possible police involvement or informants within the group. The track exploded online, reigniting the feud and sending social media into a frenzy. Emotions ran high, and soon, the DMV rap scene was divided into camps, with alliances forming and breaking almost daily. But it wasn't just words anymore. Fights broke out at shows, with heated confrontations backstage and even onstage. One incident involved a near-physical altercation between two of 23 Rackz's closest former friends during a sold-out event. Security had to step in quickly, but the tension was undeniable. The drama was spilling beyond music, affecting everyone involved on a deeply personal level. In the middle of all this, 23 Rackz's younger brother tried to step into the spotlight, determined to carry on his legacy. But it was a double-edged sword. While some fans embraced his music and message, others warned him to be careful, saying, "Don't make the same mistakes." The young rapper faced threats and pressure, both from within the community and from rival factions. "I just want to make my brother proud," he said in a rare interview. But it's hard when the people around you don't want peace. His words captured the emotional turmoil of a family caught in the crossfire of street politics and music industry drama. As if things weren't complicated enough, new allegations surfaced about money disputes. Some insiders claimed that 23 Rackz had recently discovered someone in his inner circle was skimming profits from his music and merchandise sales. This revelation added another layer to the betrayal, the mix of greed and envy turning friends into foes. The family was left divided again, with some members demanding accountability while others tried to keep the peace behind closed doors. Social media became a battleground. Old videos resurfaced where 23 Rackz and his crew were laughing and joking, now seen through a different lens as moments before the storm. Fans analyzed every look, every word, searching for clues. Memes, reactions, and conspiracy theories ran rampant, with some users even claiming to have insider info on who was responsible. The speculation only fueled the fire, keeping the story alive and the emotions raw. Amidst this chaos, a local community leader stepped up, calling for unity and healing. "We gotta stop this cycle of violence," she said at a rally, tears in her eyes. "These young men are our future. Let's honor 23 Rackz by building bridges, not burning them." Her words struck a chord with many, but the wounds ran deep. The culture of distrust and betrayal wasn't easy to overcome, especially when the pain was so fresh as the weeks turned into months. More twists emerged. One shocking revelation came from a close friend who claimed to have secret recordings of conversations plotting the hit on 23 Rackz. The friend, speaking anonymously, said, "I tried to stop it, but once it started, it was too late." They were cold, no remorse. This testimony added a chilling dimension to the story, confirming what many had feared: this was a calculated move, not a random act of violence. Meanwhile, some former crew members disappeared from the public eye, fueling rumors that they were either hiding or negotiating deals with law enforcement. Others doubled down, dropping subtle hints in their music, letting the world know the war was far from over. Diss tracks became more frequent, and the DMV's rap scene felt like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode again. Through it all, the legacy of 23 Rackz lingered. His unreleased music started surfacing, with fans clamoring for every new drop. The rawness of his voice, the stories he told, now carried a weight of tragedy. Tributes poured in from artists across the country, many using their platforms to call out the violence and betrayal that had taken one of their own. "We lost a real one," one popular rapper tweeted. "Let's make sure his story ain't forgotten." Yet, questions remained. Who were the masterminds behind the back door? What was the true motive? And more importantly, will justice ever be served? The police investigation was ongoing, but with so many players involved and so much fear in the streets, answers were hard to come by. Some believed the system was slow on purpose, while others feared retaliation would only make things worse. As the drama unfolded, the music industry watched closely. Executives, promoters, and managers realized the high cost of street ties in the game. For some, 23 Rackz's death was a wake-up call, a harsh reminder that behind the glamour and the glitz, the business could be deadly serious. Discussions about artist safety, loyalty, and the culture of competition began gaining traction, with calls for change growing louder. But despite all the turmoil, one thing was clear: the story of 23 Rackz was far from over. His name still echoed in the streets, in the studios, and in the hearts of those who believed in him. The DMV rap war had taken a devastating turn, but it also sparked conversations about loyalty, trust, and the price of success. The city was watching, waiting, hoping that maybe, just maybe, some kind of peace could come from the chaos. And just when it seemed like the dust was settling, a new development shocked everyone. A mysterious video leaked online, showing a confrontation between some key players the night before the shooting. Heated words, threats, and a chilling final line. You won't see it coming. This clip reignited the firestorm, making it clear that the truth was still buried deep beneath layers of deception and pain. So as you keep watching, keep listening, remember, this isn't just rap drama. It's a real story of friendship, betrayal, and heartbreak, playing out in front of millions. And in the DMV, where the streets and music collide, every word, every move, could be the difference between life and death. The leaked video from that fateful night sent shockwaves through the DMV rap community, exposing raw emotions and tensions no one was fully prepared to see. The footage shows 23 Rackz confronting some of his closest associates in a dimly lit room. Voices were low at first, but the underlying anger was unmistakable. "You think you can just switch up on us?" One man spat, his face twisted in betrayal. 23 Rackz's response was calm but firm. "I ain't switching, I'm just moving forward." Y'all stuck in the past. The room was thick with resentment, the kind that had been simmering for too long. What followed was an explosive back-and-forth accusations flying like bullets. "You've been talking to them behind our backs?" another voice accused. 23 Rackz fired back. "I'm doing what's best for me and my family. If that's a problem, then so be it." The tension escalated until someone slammed a fist on the table, breaking the fragile calm. Threats were made, chilling, direct, and unforgiving. "You won't see it coming," was the ominous final warning before the video abruptly cuts out. The fact that this was recorded and leaked suggested betrayal ran even deeper, possibly from someone inside 23 Rackz's inner circle. Fans dissected the video frame by frame, searching for clues about who was involved and what exactly sparked the confrontation. Many speculated that this was the moment everything fell apart. The emotional toll was evident on 23 Rackz's face, a mix of frustration, sadness, and a hint of fear. The comments section exploded with theories, support, and heartbreak. "He knew the danger," one fan wrote, but he didn't back down. The raw authenticity of the footage humanized 23 Rackz like never before, reminding everyone that behind the music was a young man caught in a deadly storm in the days following the leak. Rumors about specific individuals involved in the betrayal began to surface. One particularly shocking claim pointed to a longtime friend who had been acting as a double agent, feeding information to rival groups. This revelation rocked the community, casting doubt on every relationship 23 Rackz had built. Some friends publicly denied the accusations, while others stayed silent, deepening the mystery. The emotional conflicts between loyalty and survival were laid bare, showing just how complicated the situation had become. Add to this the growing feud between 23 Rackz's crew and a rival faction known for their aggressive moves in the DMV rap scene. Sources revealed that these rival groups had been circling for months, waiting for the perfect moment to strike and take advantage of internal fractures. 23 Rackz's rising fame and growing independence made him a target, a symbol of change that some couldn't accept. The music wars quickly spilled into real-life street conflicts, with each side trying to assert dominance through both lyrics and violence. Meanwhile, 23 Rackz's family was grappling with their own battles. His mother, once hopeful about her son's success, was now caught between grief and a desire for justice. She publicly pleaded for peace, but also expressed frustration over the ongoing feud. "We don't want more bloodshed," she said tearfully in an interview. "But we want the truth to come out." Her younger son, now trying to carve out his own path in the rap game, faced intense pressure and threats. The family was left divided, some advocating for calm, others for retaliation. The emotional stakes had never been higher. Amidst all this chaos, the rap scene's reaction was polarized. Some artists condemned the violence and called for unity, urging their peers to honor 23 Rackz's legacy through music, not conflict. Others saw the situation as an opportunity to elevate their own status, dropping subtle jabs and disses aimed at those believed responsible. The social media battles were relentless, diss tracks, cryptic posts, and heated exchanges keeping the drama alive and the audience hooked. One particularly intense moment came when a close collaborator of 23 Rackz released a song filled with veiled references to the betrayal, calling out fake friends and the cost of loyalty. "You smile in my face, but you sharpen your knives," he rapped, his voice dripping with pain and anger. The track quickly went viral, resonating with fans who felt the raw emotion behind every word. It was a public airing of private wounds, a way to process grief and rage through art. At the same time, law enforcement made some quiet moves, quietly questioning suspects and trying to piece together the complex puzzle. Sources close to the investigation hinted at possible plea deals and informants, but nothing had been made public. The fear of retaliation kept many witnesses silent, complicating efforts to bring justice. The police presence around shows and events increased, but the underlying tension in the streets remained palpable as the feud escalated. Some local community leaders and artists attempted to mediate, organizing events aimed at promoting peace and dialogue. These efforts were met with mixed reactions. Hope from some: "My movie lipstick," "Ruby kiss, Ruby kiss," "Ruby kiss, only Ruby kiss," "Only Ruby kiss has the luxurious, kiss has the luxurious," "My Surmood is helping with kiss," and "We see with CPS and left eyes." Skepticism from others who had seen too much pain and broken promises. The question lingered: could the DMV rap community heal from such a deep betrayal, or was the cycle destined to continue? Amid the ongoing chaos, new music continued to drop, with artists using their platforms to tell their side of the story. Some songs painted 23 Rackz as a fallen hero, a victim of his own ambition and the ruthless environment he navigated. Others focused on calling out those they held responsible, weaving the drama into their lyrics with razor-sharp precision. Fans eagerly analyzed every line, looking for hidden meanings and clues about the real story. And just when it seemed the feud might cool down, another twist hit the scene. A previously unknown artist emerged, claiming insider knowledge about the night of the shooting. In a fiery freestyle, he dropped names and details that shook the community, reigniting old wounds and bringing new energy to the rap war. Some dismissed him as a provocateur, while others believed he was speaking hard truths. The tension between exposing the truth and protecting reputations added another layer of complexity. Meanwhile, the younger brother of 23 Rackz struggled with his own demons. The weight of his family's tragedy and the pressure to uphold his brother's legacy pushed him to the edge. In private moments, he expressed doubt and fear, torn between wanting peace and feeling the pull of revenge. His journey became a symbol of the larger conflict, the personal cost of a public war. Throughout all of this, the DMV community was watching, divided, hurt, and waiting. The rap war was no longer just about music. It was about identity, survival, and the price of loyalty in a city where trust was fragile and the stakes were life or death. Every new track, every leaked message, every social media post was a piece of the puzzle, keeping the drama alive and the audience hungry for answers. And just as the story seemed too complex to untangle, A shocking revelation dropped: a secret meeting between some of the key players was caught on video, hinting at alliances forming behind the scenes and plans that could change the entire game. The implications were huge. Could there be a truce in the works, or was this just another move in a deadly chess match? The saga of 23 Rackz and the DMV rap war was far from over. With every twist and turn, the stakes got higher, the emotions deeper, and the drama more intense. The city held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next in this real-life thriller where music, loyalty, and survival collided. The leaked video was only the tip of the iceberg. Shortly after it dropped, more hidden layers of the story began to emerge, revealing just how deeply the betrayal ran in 23 Rackz's world. Sources close to the situation disclosed that long before the tragic night, cracks had formed within the crew. Jealousy over 23 Rackz's rising star was not just whispered among rivals, but seethed quietly among those he called brothers. What looked like unity on the surface was a powder keg of simmering resentment underneath. One insider revealed that months before the shooting, a secret meeting had taken place between some of 23 Rackz's closest associates and members of a rival faction. The goal? To discuss a plan that would stop 23 Rackz's rapid ascent. They saw him as a threat to their control, the source said. It wasn't just about music. It was about power and money. Tensions in the DMV rap scene had always been high, but this collusion was unprecedented, crossing lines that many thought would never be crossed. Add to that the growing paranoia within 23 Rackz's camp. As the crew sensed betrayal, trust began to erode. Heated confrontations became common, with arguments exploding over seemingly minor issues, but with underlying messages of suspicion and accusation. "Why are you acting shady?" one member reportedly yelled during a studio session. 23 Rackz tried to stay above it all, focusing on his craft, but the emotional toll was visible. Those close to him say he became increasingly isolated, unsure who to trust. The betrayal wasn't only about ambition or money. It was also deeply personal. Old wounds from past conflicts resurfaced, mixing with new grievances. Family ties complicated matters, with some relatives allegedly caught in the middle of alliances and rivalries. 23 Rackz's mother, in private conversations, expressed fear, not just for her son's safety, but for the family's unity. The pain was palpable. The family was left divided, struggling to hold on to each other while mourning a lost brother and son. The music itself became a battleground. 23 Rackz's unreleased tracks, rumored to contain direct messages to his supposed betrayers, started leaking online. Fans dissected every lyric, interpreting them as calls for justice, warnings, or pleas for peace. "They think they can bury me with lies," one line from a leaked song read, resonating deeply with listeners. This music wasn't just art. It was a raw diary of betrayal and survival. As the feud escalated, violent incidents began to pepper the DMV streets. Shootings and assaults linked to the rap war increased, forcing authorities to intervene. Community events that once celebrated local talent became tense affairs, with security on high alert. The fear of retaliation created a chilling atmosphere. Many artists felt trapped, caught between loyalty to their crews and the desire to make it out safely. One of the most heart-wrenching moments came when 23 Rackz's younger brother publicly announced he was stepping away from music for a while. "I can't live in this shadow," he said in an emotional statement. "I need time to heal and figure out who I am without all this pain." Fans rallied around him, sending messages of support and hoping he would return stronger. His vulnerability highlighted the real human cost behind the headlines and the rap beefs. The ongoing police investigation faced numerous roadblocks. Witnesses were afraid to talk, and key suspects kept their movements low profile. Rumors of deals and informants circulated, but official updates were scarce. This silence frustrated the community, leaving many to feel that justice was slipping further away. Some took matters into their own hands, heightening tensions with retaliatory actions that only deepened the cycle of violence. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, alliances shifted. Former enemies found common ground, while trusted friends suddenly became suspects. The fluid nature of these relationships made it nearly impossible to predict what would happen next. Artists who once collaborated now dropped diss tracks filled with veiled references to betrayal and survival. The rap scene became a soap opera unfolding in real time. With each episode more shocking than the last dot, amid the chaos, voices of reason emerged. Community activists, elders, and even some artists pushed for peace talks, hoping to end the bloodshed and heal the fractured scene. Some events promoted dialogue and understanding, though attendance was mixed. The question lingered: could the DMV rap community reconcile after such deep wounds? Or was this just the beginning of a prolonged war? The business side of things also took a hit. Promoters and labels began reevaluating their involvement, wary of the dangers posed by the escalating conflicts. Some shows were canceled due to security concerns, and sponsors pulled back. The financial impact was felt not just by artists, but by the whole local economy surrounding the music scene. It was a harsh reminder that the price of betrayal extended beyond personal loss. Despite everything, 23 Rackz's influence remained undeniable. New artists cited him as an inspiration, carrying forward his style and message. Tribute concerts and memorials kept his memory alive, with fans and peers gathering to honor his life. Yet, the question of who was truly responsible for his death hung over every gathering, casting a long shadow. Just when it seemed like the story might settle into a painful but stable status quo. Another bombshell dropped. An anonymous letter sent to a popular DMV rap news channel contained detailed accusations against a high-profile figure in the scene, implicating them in the orchestration of 23 Rackz's downfall. The letter included supposed proof, photos, messages, and even financial records. The revelation sparked outrage and heated debates online and offline, shaking the foundations of the community once more. The saga of 23 Rackz was no longer just about one man's tragic end. It had become a symbol of the harsh realities of loyalty, betrayal, and survival in the music industry and the streets that birthed it. Every new development was a reminder that beneath the glitz and glam, real lives were caught in a deadly game of trust and deception. As the DMV rap war continued, the world watched, captivated by the unfolding drama, haunted by the questions left unanswered, and hopeful for a day when peace might finally prevail. So there you have it, the full, raw and twisted story of how 23 Rackz got backdoored and killed by his own homies, setting off a brutal rap war that shook the DMV to its core. We've seen friendships shattered, families torn apart, and a music scene caught in the crossfire of betrayal and violence. But even with all the drama and heartbreak, the questions still linger. Who really pulled the trigger behind the scenes? Will justice ever be served? And can the DMV rap community ever heal from this deep, painful wound? Now, it's your turn. What do you think happened that night? Who do you believe was behind the back door? Do you see hope for peace in the DMV rap scene? Or is this just the beginning of something bigger? Drop your thoughts, theories, and feelings down in the comments. Let's get this conversation going. If you want more deep dives into the hottest rap drama, real or not, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned. Stay safe, and remember, in the world of rap and streets, loyalty can be everything or nothing. Until next time, asterisk.